Hello, everyone. It's me, Monica P. Hall, aka Conduit of Healing, and it is time for our weekly messages for the collective. And I'm pretty excited about this one. So, this one comes up a lot, right? And I can't really wait to talk to you about it because it's about illusions of safety. It's about trying to fit in where you probably don't in life. And it comes up a lot. It comes up in a lot of different themes of our lives, whether it be relationships, whether it be community, whether it be belief systems, whether it be career, whether it be love. It comes up a lot. So, what am I talking about? Well, just hang on. I'm about to tell you. But before we get started, please make sure if you've been enjoying my channel that you have subscribed to it so that you get all the updates for every single video that drops. And also, if at the end of this video, please watch it till the end, you find that you have enjoyed this particular video, make sure you hit the like button and also comment. Always comment. All right? It's on paper today. Let's see. What does the crew have to say? If you have to force it, it's not yours. Oftentimes, there's a confusion between the ego's desire and alignment. When you are in the flow of alignment, less effort is required to obtain a goal, no matter the goal: career, relationships, or personal development. When you have to force something, such as becoming a person that you think people want you to be, rather than choosing a situation that allows you to be yourself, know that you are setting yourself up for disappointment. Ignoring the warnings, issues, or red flags of a relationship because you cannot allow yourself to admit that who you want to be the one isn't. It's not the fault of the other person, but the lack of acceptance in you. Working at a job seeking financial safety rather than a life of passion and purpose leads to feeling underwhelmed, unhappy, and unfulfilled. Life is about a spirit having a human experience via embodiment. How you choose to use this time is up to you. Okay, this comes up a lot. This comes up a lot in my readings, with my clients, about this whole idea of making situations that don't need to happen, making ourselves into people that we truly aren't, making relationships work that aren't supposed to work. This comes up so very much. Where does this whole idea of fitting in come from, right? Well, I would say the first thing is it comes from families. The idea of fitting into your family. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I came into this whole embodiment thing. I remember being very, very young going, I think I'm lost. I think I'm lost. I remember very young thinking about who I was at the time and who my family was at the time, and really not seeing my place in it, really not feeling like I fit in. And admittedly, my mom has said to me in the past that she wasn't even sure about how she could be my mom because we're just so different, and I'm so different from the people in my family. And one of the pressures of family is to try to get you to conform to their traditions, their belief systems, everything from how they approach life, how they approach the idea of love, how they approach careers, how they approach education, so on and so forth, right? So many of us have been there, especially those of us who are sensitive, those of us who are artistic, those of us who are creative, those of us who just look at status quo and go, I don't want that. That's not for me. You know what? It really isn't for you. It really isn't for you. And so if you have been kind of coerced your entire life to try to fit into somebody else's definition of you, it's going to make you spiritually weary, frustrated, sometimes angry, and eventually, once you realize it's just not for you, you're going to feel lost. You're going to feel like you've wasted a lot of time doing all the things that you were supposed to do, and yet you're unhappy, you're unfulfilled. So it starts at a very, very young age. It starts with their families. Then it goes into our educational system, right? And we could spend a whole nother show on the idea of what education is, and how education has been methodically and systemically designed to get a group of people to think a certain way, to behave a certain kind of way, and to conform to certain ideals, morals, mores, so on and so forth. And this is how we quote unquote build society. And it's funny that we're talking about this, right? Because how many of you are looking at society and go, I don't get it. This is not working. So then you come and you find people like me after you realize this isn't working for me, and you go, I feel lost, or I feel frustrated, or I feel unhappy. And what I help you do is I help you kind of roll it all back to the essence of who you are. You know, the essence of who I am is a creative person. The essence of who I am is a and gosh darn it, I thought I turned off this phone, so forgive me. I'm just going to throw it across the room. No, I'm not going to throw it across the room. I'm just going to put it away. But the essence of who I am is a creative person. The essence of who I am is a truth speaker, a truth seeker. And I was always the person to say things out loud that other people were thinking, but too afraid to say. And, there's a lot of kind of punishment for that. There was a lot of, poo-pooing. There was a lot of, perhaps resentment. There was a lot of trying to train me to be more quiet. Bless their hearts, as we say in the South, where I'm originally from. Bless your heart, because I am a force to be reckoned with. And I recognize that at a very young age, that I didn't want to try to fit into anything. I just really wanted to express fully the depths and the expansions of who I am and what I could be. I knew that from a very young age. Not everyone's like me, right? Some people really feel put upon to the point where they feel insecure about who they are, so they really do try to fit into other people's ideals. What happens then is we find ourselves to be in jobs and in relationships where we are suffering a little bit every day just trying to fit in to other people's definitions. I talk to a lot of people about love, right? Love and careers. Those are two huge subject matters for us in the psychic community, divination community. Love, careers. There's so many of you out there that are trying to force relationships with people that don't work. Here's a little clue. If who you were in the beginning was a person that you liked, and you had to downgrade you, whittle away, quiet, suppress, oppress any aspect of who you truly are that you liked in order to be in a relationship with someone else, I promise you're going to end up unhappy. I also promise you that at some point the relationship is going to cease to work. Why? Because love is not about suppressing. Love is not about oppressing. Love is not about cowering. It is not about being afraid. It's not about draining. It is not about silencing. It is not about not being you. Love is about being you, and then either yourself or someone else not only accepting, but celebrating and applauding who you are. So I have a lot of people who have turned themselves into pretzels seeking to gain love from another person. And I just want to be clear, I'm talking about all relationships. So that's hetero, that's homosexual relationships, heterosexual relationships, non-binary, everyone, because the framework is the same, right? Seeking love from somebody who in truth doesn't want the truth of who you are. They want their fantasy of who you are. And you may find yourself trying to live up to the fantasy of the other person because you want them that badly. But wanting them while abandoning, selling out, disrespecting, downgrading you will never make you happy in the relationship. Because what tends to happen, right? You give everything to this person and all of a sudden you have an issue in relationships, whether it be infidelity, whether it be just general unhappiness, whether it be hitting a rough patch. And you start to resent them because you're like, well, I did everything that, you wanted me to do. I became who you wanted me to become. I let you win all the arguments. I let you dominate the relationship. I jumped through all the hoops, and still you don't want me. Still you don't want to be with me. Still you would rather seek affections from somebody else. Still you're not happy. And that's because, well, guys, who's going to be happy living a lie? You? Your partner? Who's happy living a lie? Just because you have turned yourself into a pretzel, just because you have downgraded yourself, made yourself small, suppressed yourself, and you made all these quote unquote sacrifices for this other person doesn't mean they owe you their love. I know, y'all gonna be mad at me. Listen, y'all are mad at me at least once a week. That depends on when you watch the videos. I know I say something so controversial, so upsetting for your ego, but it's the truth. No one owes you love, especially if you're lying to them about who you are. It's the truth. Now, what about jobs, right? I get a lot of people telling me, I have a job. I've been there for a while. It's okay. It's not great. I'm just wondering if there's anything more. And 9 times out of 10, the person is not in a career that they're passionate about. And that's the problem. You're not doing what makes you excited to get out of bed every morning to show up to. You're not doing something that, you can't wait to get back to. You're not doing something that expands you and grows you as a human being. And you know what? Here's the thing. Everything is a spiritual kind of exchange. What do I mean by that? I mean, when you're doing the job that you were kind of called to do, when you're in universal alignment in that way, spiritual alignment that way, like this is what I was called to do. Psychic medium, Reiki master teacher. I started out as an actor. I still consider myself an actor, but learning the fundamentals of acting actually helped me become a better psychic, because in order to do that job, you have to be open. You have to listen. You have to observe. You have to study. You have to understand human beings to inhabit a character. That training helped me become a better channel for spirit. All right? See how it kind of works together? So this is what I was called to do. This is why you see me so excited to give you these weekly messages. And if you have a reading with me, I am exuberant, I am bubbly, I'm enthusiastic. I'm excited to help you get the clarity, education, and empowerment you need so that you can make better choices for your life. I love what I do. I love it. Can you tell? If you don't love what you're doing, you're settling for something, thinking that you're going to be safe, right? So you have this job, you've been there for a while, the pay is good, it's good, you have the house, you have the car, you have the things, you can take vacations, there's some money in the bank, you have savings, it's fine. So then what's the problem? The problem is it's fine. Who wants to wake up every day, 6 a.m. or whenever you wake up, whether or not you got great sleep the night before, that doesn't matter. And show up at some place somewhere between 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning and stay there a whole 8 hours out of the 24 hours of the day for it's fine. And so then you call me and you go, I need help with my career. A lot of times I'm telling you should be in a different career. By the way, if you need to change careers in order to make your soul happy, it's okay to do that at any time. Trust me, I know. Um, what's not okay is slowly dying on a job that pays your bills and gives you money, and great, your kids went to college. It's wonderful, great. You managed to address all of your quote unquote responsibilities. Yeah, you. Except on the inside, you're like, I'm tired. I hate this so much. I don't want to do this job anymore. I recently had a client call me in a panic. Like, it felt like they were on the verge of an anxiety attack because they just couldn't stand their job anymore. Good paying job. It just wasn't the lifestyle they wanted for themselves anymore. And you know what? I told them the truth. Well, this isn't what you were called to do. And you've been spending the majority of your life doing what you thought was appropriate according to society, what you thought was appropriate according to your family, what you thought was appropriate according to you know, your bank account. But nobody else has to live that misery, that underwhelming, that boredom. Just you. So if you're calling me in a panic, I'm going to be like, well, the truth of the matter is you need to now create an exit strategy to redirect your energies into a place of work or an industry of work that speaks to your soul, that you enjoy that 8 hours. And listen, not that normal exhaustion and being tired isn't going to happen. I mean, it happens to me. It's part of the human experience. But the moment I'm not feeling tired, I'm so excited to go back to work. So we see it in our everyday right now, right? Especially in the United States, if that's where you're watching this from. People not wanting to go back to their old jobs as this whole pandemic situation, progresses to the point where we can go back into offices. They don't want to go back to the same jobs that they hated. They don't want to go back to toxic environments. They don't want to go back to 15-hour work days for, no extra money. They don't want to do 15 jobs and only get one salary. They're over it. So you find people just refusing to be part of the machine anymore. And by the way, if you're one of those people, congratulations. And I'm so happy for you because I absolutely used to be in corporate American machine. And for me, it was always like a means to an end. It was never going to be something I could see myself doing for the rest of my life. And I got to be honest with you, the money's not enough. The money's not enough. The money's not enough to sit in a situation where you are forcing yourself to try to contain the inside of you that just wants to scream, leave me alone. Why am I here? I hate this place. I hate you people. I hate all of this. That becomes work too, right? The dragging yourself to the place, containing your resentment and anger while you're there, working with people who may, not necessarily be people that you actually can work with or should work with. Miserable, toxic, vindictive, vicious, jealous. It just becomes like this cesspool of negativity. All for one paycheck? I'm sorry, there's got to be one hell of a paycheck if you want me to endure that. And I'm going to be honest with you, most paychecks don't cover all of your bills and leave extra for the therapy that you're going to need to keep going to that job. Ask me how I know. I'm not speaking about anything that I haven't already lived. You always want to listen to people who are like, not only do they know, but they know from experience. We have to be happy. It's an option, but it's really not. Because when you're not happy, your soul is striving to be happy. Your soul is begging for you to do something to make it happy. It won't shut up about you doing something to bring about some happiness. So if you're in a job or you're in a situation that you hate, I'm not telling you to quit today. Please Do not assume that that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's time to come up with an exit strategy to move yourself into the direction of a career and a job that you will be passionate about. Now, if that requires more education, pick up some continue education classes, start going to school online. It's a lot more obvious, and about in terms of getting access. It's a lot more doable. If it means moving, some of you need to move. You absolutely hate where you live. If you can do that, begin the plannings of shifting your life from to I'm so excited to be here. Life is so good. I just can't wait to get up tomorrow morning to do this thing we call life. There's enough of settling and treading water in the world. There's definitely not enough happiness. Not only will you make yourself happier, you actually will make the world a better place by being a happier person just for you. It's kind of what it means to be part of a collective. The collective is made up of individuals. If the collective is not happy or not reflecting happiness, it's because of the majority of the individuals in the collective aren't happy. So think about that. So it's not just you affecting your life. It's going to literally affect all of your relationships, your happiness quotient. All right. In terms of relationships, be you for you first. Be in love with yourself first. Stop trying to make everyone the one, because they're not. Pay attention to all of the red flags, the comments, the changes in behavior. A lot of times people are telling you you're not for them before things get bad. There's a progression. Whether it's, in the beginning, it was so exciting, it was so wonderful. By the third month, things are starting to shift a little bit. By the way, 3 months has always been the thing for me. By the third month, it's usually when all the glamour and all the shimmer and the shiny start to dimmer down to more normal, realistic levels. You're still into each other genuinely by the third month. Keep going. If you're starting to hear comments about your appearance, your behavior, your friends, the way you dress, you need to realize that somebody is slowly trying to whittle away your confidence so that they can eventually control the relationship. Somebody needs to dominate the relationship. It's never going to be a healthy relationship. Relating, we are relating in our relationship. If one of us needs to be dominant, then one of us has an insecurity issue that they are projecting onto the other, and they think by controlling the other person, their fears, which is the basis of their insecurity, right, will be alleviated. That will never be the case. You know why I know? This is a simple one. I know because we were never meant to control one another. And that is why anytime we try to control each other, there's an innate rebellion within the spirit saying, I don't think so. Okay? So if there's got to be a dominant person in the situation, if there's always got to be a winner and always got to be a loser, no, it's not going to work. Telling you right now, it's not going to work. I mean, yes, you absolutely can call me and we can talk about in depth of what all the patterns are. We can absolutely do a reading about it, help you kind of get yourself back together and seeing clearly and feeling clearly. But I'm telling you right now, they're not the one and it's not going to work. Okay? Insofar as life, you may not fit into these big cogs of society that call themselves community. Very rarely do you find communities that actually want the individual to be happy. Communities don't necessarily function for the individual to be happy. Communities typically are interested in garnering some sort of power. And in order for the whole to quote unquote have power, the individuals actually have to give away their own individual powers to fit inside of the community so that the community can function as a powerful entity. So be very careful about that. If you've tried to force yourself to like fit into a community that maybe day 1, this looks perfect, this looks great. Day 30, okay, I mean, it's still okay. Day 60, red flags. Day like 365, you've been there for a year and all of a sudden you're like, I don't like this place anymore. Do not feel compelled to stay. Do not feel obligated to stay. Again, a community is built up of individuals. If all the individuals honor themselves, then the community will be honorable. If one person has concentrated power, has the loudest voice out of the entire community, and all of the members of the community are trying to appease that one loud voice, yeah, you're probably in a cult-like experience. You're probably in a situation where one charismatic figure is just, usurping all the power from all the individuals. Yeah, stay away from those. I don't care if it's a circle of friends. I don't care if it's a religious practice, a spiritual practice, whatever. Your friends at work, whatever. Be very, very mindful about who you're surrounding yourself with. If your community doesn't support you as an individual, you're trying to fit into something where you don't. This happens in the spirit world as well. New Age community. Ask me how I know. Where I realized that through my own journey, my own spiritual journey, the well-being of me as an individual I am, as a spiritual being, as a singular expression of all that there is, it was more important for me to be happy with me than it was to fit into a community that the longer I was in it, the more I realized it was almost like a group willingly going to get lost in Egypt by themselves and then wait for some Messiah to come and save them. Yeah, that's not necessary. You could just say, no thank you, I'm good, I'm done. Thanks so much. All right, so that's all I have for you right now. But really remember, if you have to force a situation, the situation's not for you. When you are in alignment and you're doing and being and living your life from a place of joy, of happiness, of ease, not to say there won't ever be any effort, there will always be effort. But if you feel like you're Atlas with the world on your back and you're climbing up a mountain and you just can't get to the top, put that shit down. That's not for you. That's not your work. It's not your world. It's not your job. It's not your relationship. Those are not your people. Got it? All right. Hope you really got that one. Thanks so much for watching. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it. Make sure you comment. I want to hear about this because so many of us are out there trying to fit into situations we have no business being in. All right. And once again, if you have enjoyed a lot of these videos, you want to keep seeing them, you want to keep hanging out with me, make sure you subscribe to the channel. All right. And finally, if you would like to book a psychic reading with me, a Reiki session with me, if you'd like to study Reiki, yeah, I do teach Reiki. I'm a Reiki master teacher, a SUI Reiki master teacher. Thank you very much. Make sure you go to my website, www.conduitofhealing.com/appointment, and book your free consultation. We can talk about what I can offer you to help you on your spiritual journey, to help you to become a better version of you. All right? Thanks again. I absolutely appreciate your presence, your time, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Okay? Mwah! Namaste.